Hey there, today I'm going to teach you how to draw P.E.K.K.A from Clash of Clans. So as usual, I'm going to start in the center of the face with the eyes. So let's draw two curves that kind of curve towards the center, just kind of like an upward swoop, right, with a little gap in the middle. Then from here, on one side, I'm going to draw a curve out. I'll draw the exact same thing on the other side. Then from here, I'm just going to come in a little bit on the right side and come straight down with a line. I'll do the exact same thing on the left, and we'll come down to the same length down here. And from this point, I'm just going to connect up to this little swoop corner with a curve, just like so. And at the top edge of each eye, I'm going to draw kind of like a large half circle, maybe a little bit more than a half circle. And then inside here, I'm just going to color that in black. Right, and from here, just above the eyes, I'm going to draw sort of like a frown line. So at the top here, on the left side, I'm just going to come across, down towards the middle, and come up again, and then down on the right side. So it's kind of like a wave. And then in between the eyes, just below these two frown lines, I'm going to draw a little dot. From here, I'm going to draw two lines that angle outwards, and it comes straight down on both sides. Kind of looks like the shape of a pencil. And here, I'm just going to color that in black, just like so. And then from here, on the same level, I'm going to come out to this outside of the eye here and draw a dot. And I'll do the exact same thing on the opposite side at the equal distance. So then I can draw two lines that come down on either side of the eye. Then from here, I'm going to curl two curves in just above that frown line. And then from here, I'm going to connect that with a curved line. Just like a very subtle curve. And then from here, I'm going to draw the horn. So let's start on the left side here. Just below the top of the head, I'm going to draw a line straight outwards. And then right about where the pupil is, I'm going to draw another straight line out of equal length. And then I'm going to connect these two lines with a curve, kind of like that. Let's do the exact same thing on the right side. So coming down from the top of the head with a line, and then right about where the pupil is, I'll draw the same length line there, and connecting that with a curved line. Let's go and do the horns. So here, he's got two big long horns that come out. So right about here is where I want to put my finger and say, well, that's the direction and the length it's going to go. So starting here, I'm going to draw a curve right to the inside of that line there. Then from here, I'm going to go straight out and make it wider as I come towards this point. So let's go ahead and do that, just like that. Okay, and then here on this side, I want the horn to be the same height. So I'll put my thumb on this side, from the same length and distance. I'll draw a dot. And from here, I'll start on the opposite side. So I'll start where the horn is, or where the head is, and go straight up. Then from here, I'll go down here and draw the other bottom part of that horn, just like that. Let's get into the neck area. So just left of the center, just around here, I'm going to draw a point. And this is where the face guard kind of comes across. And that's a very slight curve. It can be straight, it doesn't really matter, but it's a slight curve. From here, I'm going to go straight down one side. And then on this side, I'm going to angle it out just a little bit. And then I'm going to find my center point of this line and draw a line almost straight down, just a little bit tilted to the right. And then this is my point for the chest plate. So here, I'm going to draw a curve out. And then this one, I'm going to draw a curve out slightly longer. It kind of looks like a little arrow pointing down. And then from here, on this side, I'm going to go straight across to combine that line there. And then here, I'm going to come down at an angle slightly. Alright, it's a very short line here. Now I'm going to move over to the shoulder because this big shoulder plate actually sits on top of the chest plate. So I'm going to have to draw this in first. So let's start where, okay, so this is the large area of the shoulder. There's a little round thing that kind of comes around the front of the chest here. So let's draw that first. So I'm going to draw a point right about the same height as that headline, just over a little bit here. I'll draw a point. And I'm going to start to draw a circle, but I'm going to keep it open on this side. So let's go ahead and start drawing that circle. And then I'm going to touch this part of the chest plate here, come around, and stop right about there. And from here, from this point, I'm going to angle out. And then here, because the shoulder kind of comes around this way, I'm going to draw a curve, kind of goes out that way. And then he's got a big, or she's got a big horn that kind of comes up this way. So if this is where the horn is, I'm going to leave a gap there. So let's draw a curve. And I'm going to imagine this curve coming all the way up to connect to this line here. So I'll just kind of go like that. I'll maybe make this one a bit longer. I'm going to draw a half circle just inside of that. So I'm cutting out a half circle. And again, there's a horn that comes out here. So I'm going to put my thumb right where I want it, sort of right about there. Then from this point, I'm going to connect to that corner with a curved line. Same thing with this side as well. And inside of the shoulder pad, there's like some patterns that she has. So I'll start over here. It's kind of like a sort of like a zigzaggy kind of pattern. Kind of comes up, and then here it kind of swirls around and just ends off just like that. Let's go into the neck. So she's got these sort of like guards around her neck. So starting just below this horn, I'm going to draw a curve like this, and then I'll thicken it up with a double line, and I'll just color that in black. I'll do the exact same thing on this side. So starting up here, I'll curl around 2 lines and color that in black. Alright, let's get into the arm before I get into the chest. So just a very simple arm. I'm going to start just right of this point here. I'm going to draw a straight line in an angle. And then here I'm just going to kind of come in a little bit. And then this is where the forearm guard is. So I'll start on the outside of the forearm guard. And I'll curve a line around just like so. I'll come straight down. And then I'm going to do an opposite curve the other way. Like so. Now she's got 4 horns on her forearm guard. So I'm going to do what I did here. I'm going to draw a half circle twice, just like that. And then I'm going to connect those in between with a straight line. And then I'm going to draw 2 long horns. And then on the back side here, I'm going to do the exact same horn, but just kind of like overlapped in between, just like that. So it looks like there's 4 horns and they're kind of like in perspective. And then around this forearm guard, I'm just going to draw just like a half square, just for a little bit of detail. Here I'm just going to finish this off with a straight line. And I'm going to come down, so I'm coming in a little bit, I'm coming down towards the hand. Now this is where the thumb is going to be, so I'm going to draw a curve like so. Do a squared off thumb, and I'll come up in a curve. From this point I'm going to do an opposite reverse curve, square off the finger. Now I'm going to curve in and stop about halfway. I'll come in a bit and draw a straight line for the other finger, come up, and again I'm going to step back a little bit here, and then I'll finish this off with the final finger. And inside this hand, she's got a sort of a hand guard, just like that. Okay, so there's the hand. Let's get into the chest. So from this point, I'm going to continue to draw that line down in an angle here to the center of the chest. And from this point, I'm going to come out with an upward curve, and I'll connect these 2 points with a straight line. Now the other side of the chest, I want it to be about the same height, but it's longer because her body's sort of turned this way. So I'll put my finger here and put a dot, and I'll connect these 2 points with a curve as well, just like that. I'll come straight up just to finish that off there. On the bottom here, right about here, on the left, I'm going to start from that point and just draw a little short line across and go straight up, just like that. And from here, let's do the belly here. So from inside left of that point, I'll curve around just like so. So big belly. And from this point, I'll curve up and out, just like that, toward that thumb there. From this point, I'm going to try to connect that point here with a curved line. So just like so. And from here, I'm going to curve around. And then this is where she's got like a, sort of like a reinforcement thing. So it's like a long rectangle, just like that. And then I'll draw a circle for a rivet. And I'll just finish that off just like that in the back. And she actually has metal nipples. So I'm going to draw a circle on one side here, and then slightly oval circle on the other side. Coming down to the front here. So let's do the front part here. So right about here, I'm going to draw a straight line down. On this side, because it's in perspective, I'll draw it right about here, a straight line down. And I'll connect those 2 points with a slight curve. And again, I'm going to double thicken up this line just for a little bit of detail. Kind of looks cool that way. And then there's like 2 levels of skirt coming out. So starting on this side, on that point, I'm going to come out at an angle and then curve towards the center. I'm going to step in a little bit, come out at an angle, and curve towards the center, just like that. Let's do it on this side. So if this is on the back side here, come out at an angle, around the same length, and then curve towards the middle. Again, stepping in, and then finishing that off at the bottom there. Let's go into the legs. So big puffy pants going to small feet. We're going to step in, and draw one curve, and I'll draw a second curve. So there's basically 2 lumps. Draw a straight line across the bottom, very short line. And from here, I'll curve a line in towards that middle. For the foot on this side, I'm going to draw a curve out for the heel. I'll draw an angled line, very straight angled line, straight across the bottom and the front. Now the toes get curled up, so here, I'm going to curl up backwards, doing a really short line across, and then connect that point with this, with a curve, just like that. Then here, I'm just going to simply finish that off like that. Let's draw the last foot here. So right about here, I'm going to draw a curve towards the ankles. Here, I will draw a curve towards the ankles the opposite way. Again, straight across the bottom. This side, I'm going to do a straight line angled across, and then a straight line along the bottom for the bottom of the foot. Here, I'm going to curl up the toe just like that. Curl back, and you can see that I'm getting wider as I come back. And then from this point to there, I'm just going to draw a straight line. Right, we're almost done. Let's get up to the last arm here. So she's got her hand holding a sword. So starting about here, so her arm comes up towards her fist. So her hand is right about in this area. So I'm going to draw the sword coming in this angle. So I'll draw the front of the knuckles first. Right, so an angled line for the front knuckles. I'm going to curve one line, and curve the other line here. Connect those 2 points with a straight line. Now these are the fingers. So let's separate this with 2 lines going across. So 1, 2. Coming down, stepping down here, I'm going to go cross straight, come down straight, and then connect towards that line, just like that. That's the thumb. Now let's come up here a bit, just inside of that thumb, come straight down. Over here, I'll come straight down, and I'm going to draw an oval inside here. So a curve to connect those 2 points, and then a reverse curve to connect those 2 points. Over here by the finger, I'm just going to curve this line in, just like that. Right, now let's do the guard on the sword. So here, I'm just going to draw an oval behind that hand. So starting here, I'm going to draw a big oval, just like that. And to thicken that up, I'm going to draw a little short line on either side, on the ends, and then connect them with a curved line just like that. That makes it look like it's got some thickness to it. So here, I'm going to draw a curve from the thumb to that handle. Here, I'm going to draw a straight line towards the elbow, here as well. And then connecting those 2 lines with a curve just like that. And then from here, I'm just going to connect the line, same there. And then here, I'm just going to show a little bit of the back shoulder, just like that. Let's go up here and finish off the sword. So, the sword's coming up, so if I look at the handle, I'm going to imagine the sword coming straight up like that. So I'm going to try to make a straight line from the tip of the handle to the tip of the sword. Come across at an angle. Then here, I'm going to make it taper in. So it's kind of coming in this way. Last thing, from this point, draw an angled line and connect that angled line from the tip of the sword, coming down, straight, equal distance here. And I think that's it. There we have it. There is P.E.K.K.A from Clash of Clans. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please give it a like and be sure to subscribe. We'll see you again soon.